Hello there, God bless you, God bless your life. I'm very happy that you are here in this video. My name is David, if you don't know me yet. And today I would like to speak about one situation that every human being goes through in life. Have you ever been in the situation where things around you are happening and sometimes even strange things, and you see that all happening and you think and you ask yourself, you think, why is this happening? Why are all those things around me happening? And you just don't get it why it's happening. That happened to me many many years ago. Well, not many years ago, because I'm not that old, but it happened to me a few years ago. I don't consider myself somebody who was born Christian, who was born a follower of God, a follower of Jesus Christ. This is simply impossible. And let me explain to you why. When we are born, God knows us, but we don't know Him. And knowing God is actually a process. Many people believe in God, but they don't know Him. This is very true. Somebody can say, well, I believe in God, I'm Christian. Well, even the devil believes in God. Even he believes in God, and he's the enemy of God. He's our enemy. So if he believes in God and he does all those cruel things that he does, well, does not mean that the human being who believes in God is always nice. No. If it would be that easy, that simple, life would be much easier, much better. But it simply isn't like that. Many people believe in God, but they don't know God. And knowing God is a process. And I went through this process when I was more or less 20 to 21 years old, approximately. And it was a process. So, well, I would consider that age I just mentioned, well, it's not an exact age, but that, how should I say, that range of age as the time when I converted to Christ. And when I was coming closer and closer to God, things around me were happening, and I just don't get it. Got it why those things were happening. But let me tell you something. A few years later, God, He opened my mind, and I understood why those things were happening. God, He was doing a lot of things in my life. He was, first of all, educating me, raising me. He was also teaching me lessons, because I've done a few things wrong. Well, what doesn't mean a few? A lot of things. Let's be honest here. I made a lot of things wrong, and God was teaching me the right things. So I did not got it at that time, and I was even sad with a few things, because, well, a few things were very difficult actually. But now today, I just got it why God did it. He did it for all those reasons I just mentioned, and many more. And all those reasons, they were for my best. They all worked in my favor, actually. And this is what God does in many lives. If you're here in this video, I'm sure that God, He also does those things in your life, so you can become the person He wants you to become. And I want to start with the Bible verse, which we can find in the book of John, chapter 13, verse 7. Jesus answered and said unto him, What I do thou knowest not now, but thou shalt know hereafter. This is exactly what I was talking about. God does things in our life which we don't understand now, but we will understand it later. And do you know why is that? Because God, He's a father. And sorry, there's something in my eye actually. God, He is a father. And the father, He wants to teach His children how to do the things right. Let's imagine a 5-year-old child walks up to his father and says, Dad, I love your car. Give me the keys and let me drive around. What is the risk of this child making an accident? I would not say very high or high. I would say it's certain. There's no way this child will not make an accident. It's impossible to not make an accident as a 5-year-old child if somebody gives you a car key. It's impossible. So sometimes we ask things, we ask God things that He should give us, that He should make for us, and we sometimes even ask for solutions out of problems. Maybe you're going through a phase of life now and you're asking God for a solution for that. Let me tell you, He has the solution. However, the solution is not always the one that we expect. And why is that? Because God knows what is the best. Let's imagine you are that 5-year-old child that I just mentioned, and you ask God for a car key. And He knows if I'm going to give you that key, you'll probably build an accident. So sometimes God, He wants to teach you first how to drive. He wants to teach you maturity. He wants you to get how should I say, the ability to discern what is good, what is right, what is wrong, how things work, how things not work. He wants to teach you things so later He can give you that car and you can go from A to B without making an accident. And maybe you can even take people with you and be a blessing in their life. This is actually a very profound lesson. So if you don't know what is going on in your life right now and you ask God what is going on, maybe this video was the response for that. And also, if you do not know what to do in this moment, just trust God. Just trust His process. You're not the first person who goes through this process. Let me tell you something. You know Joseph from the Bible? He actually was sold by his own brothers as a slave to Egypt. And he ended up as a slave, he ended up in prison. And in prison, he became a very high authority. And even as a slave, he was an authority. He was an administrator. A slave who is an administrator. You know why? Because God was preparing him to become the second highest authority in Egypt. To become a person who will rule a country, actually, together with the Pharaoh at that time. But he was the second highest authority in Egypt. God was preparing him. Joseph was suffering. He was suffering. He went through a lot of pain. He went through injustice. He went through a lot of stuff. He suffered a lot. But God honored him. And God, in all that suffering, in all that process that he went through, all those difficulties, God was with him and protected him. and also teach him a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, God does not want you to suffer. God does not want you to suffer. There are people who say, well, you have to suffer in order to learn. Not true. Simply not true. God does not want you to suffer. But sometimes there are certain challenges in life that you will have to face and you will have to overcome so he can fulfill his promises in your life. God has a promise in your life. He has a huge promise in your life. And he will fulfill it. He will fulfill the purpose that he has. But first of all, you will have to go through his process and you will have to trust. And you will have to believe that the best is waiting for you at the end of this tunnel. I hope that this word was a blessing. And if you thought of somebody who's actually going through something and this person does not know why is he or she going through that, send him this video. Send her that video. Be a blessing in their life, and I'm sure God will bless you as well for being a blessing. So this was it. I see you on the next video. Take care.